son. He unfortunately passed away from complications to his heart attack. And at the time, since I was only 5 years old, I didn't know what to think about it. I didn't have much of a relationship with him. But in hindsight, it's really sad because there's lots of what ifs. What if he saw his favorite team, the Cubs, win the World Series or something, or whatever. And you never know how much you appreciate something until it's gone. And because of that, I promised myself I'd have a better relationship with all my grandparents from that point forward. I want everyone here who has at least one remaining grandparent to raise their hand. All right, that's good to see. And for those who have your hand raised, keep your hand raised if you talked to them in the past week. So that's about half. All right. Well, hopefully after this speech, all of you will start talking to your grandparents a little bit more often. So just for credibility, passed away. I've been blessed to have healthy grandparents all my life, besides the one that passed away when I was 5. There they are. I've had a great relationship with my grandparents. Whenever I have time, I like to just hang out with them, whether it's to go hunting with my grandpa or bake cookies with my grandma and play euchre or whatever. I just like to spend time with them. I've also done lots of extensive research on this topic. And the reason why I'm passionate about it is because my grandpa died when I was 5, and my grandma in the bottom right there has pretty bad dementia. I don't remember the last time she called me by my name. It's kind of sad, but nevertheless, I'm content with it. And for you guys, I know, like everybody who raised their hand, most of you have living grandparents. I also know everybody's situation is different. Maybe you guys all don't have a good relationship with them. Maybe you're not in your life because of some underlying thing in your family, whatever it may be, but I know that most of you guys have living grandparents. And for the preview of the main points, I'm going to talk about the support and benefits you get from having a good relationship with them, making memories and how it impacts both the well-being for you and for them, and also intergenerational bonding. I'll talk to you about what it is and the benefits from doing it. For my first topic, we will talk about how your grandparents can support you in all sorts of ways. According to Julia Gregg's in her article, They've Always Been There For Me, Grandparental Involvement in Child Wellbeing, published in 2010, she states, shared activities with grandparents may present opportunities to share problems and seek advice. And young people with very involved grandparents may be subject to a greater degree of physical monitoring, an example of which can be where they pick you up from school, which limits opportunities for problematic behavior such as truancy. Pretty much you just skip school less. Which goes well into my first point there. And for my second point, grandparents also can give lots of good advice and provide another line of emotion or emotional support and love. Now the counter argument to that is, well, what if they haven't lived a good life? Well, if they haven't had a good life, maybe the advice they do give you is to prevent you from being in the same position as they were. And for the second one, I don't have much contact with them because they don't like my parents or because of another underlying thing. Well, what I'd recommend is you look at what could have caused that, talk to your parents about it, and maybe come up with a way to figure out how that can be fixed. And being supported by your grandparents really is amazing and can be rewarding for both you and for them. And for the next topic, we will talk about how making memories will improve your well-being as well as theirs. As said by one grandparent in a study conducted by Matilde Dolphus and documented in her article, Motivations and Challenges for Grandparent in Childhood, Outdoor Play and Early Childhood Perception of Canadian Grandparents, which came out in 2023. I have one daughter, 5 sons, and one daughter. My daughter is in the middle, and my daughter physically is very similar to my granddaughter. Very small, very flexible, and even the meltdowns as well. So for me, it's like deja vu. I like to get to relive this in a certain way through my granddaughter, and I always wanted another daughter, but I never had a chance to get one. Which really proves that spending time with your grandparents truly means a lot to them, because even if they are kind of slowly but surely dying, you want to make sure that you make the time that they do have left very special. And the counter argument to that is, well, if I make memories with them, it'll just be that much sadder once they do pass away. Well, honestly, in my opinion, that depends on 2 things: how content your grandparent is with them and how they view the memories you made with them. And if they said, honestly, something they could say is I'm not sad that we can't make memories anymore. I'm just happy we were able to make any in the first place, which is also just good advice just in life. And for the second thing, I know that I'm going to die eventually, and that's okay. So while I'm still here, I want to make the most of it and spend time with you, making memories that'll last whether or not I'm still alive. And memories can be some of the most precious things people have, especially for people who have passed away, since they are some of the only things you remember from the people who passed away. And for my final topic, I will cover intergenerational bonding and the benefits that brings along. So first off, intergenerational bonding is just the relationship built between two different generations through certain activities, and it's more or less just the act of bringing seniors and younger people like us together to help seniors feel more connected. And according to Maria A. Monserrat from her article, Intergenerational Relationships and Affectional Solidarity Between Grandparents and Young Adults, which came out in 2008, she said, having attended college may be relevant for young adults' relationships with their grandparents. According to Krasno and Elder in 2002, they found, for example, that both grandchildren and grandparents reported higher relationship quality with each other when grandchildren enrolled in college. In addition, the presence of both grandparents of a given lineage can shape the grandparent and grandchild relationship. Now, the counter argument to that can be, well, what if we don't have anything in common? Well, if you find something to get into, so you guys both have something in common, well, if you do that, they'll eventually realize that and really be thankful for that. And the second one is, well, what point is there to bond with them if they're eventually going to pass away? Well, if you think that you shouldn't, but I know it's a little morbid, but it is something that I've heard, unfortunately. If you think that you shouldn't bond with them since they're going to pass away, what you should do is not think about whether or not they're passing away soon, but think about making the life they have left worth living. And as you all have heard in this speech, there are plenty of reasons why you should have a good relationship with your grandparents. And with that being said, let's review. These three reasons are just some of the reasons why I insist you all have a good relationship with your grandparents. The reasons included general support from your grandparents, making memories with them, and finally having an intergenerational bond with them. In my opinion, people our age generally don't have the best relationship, at least from what I've seen with my friends, with their grandparents as our parents did with their grandparents. I hope after you heard my speech, you all will reach out to your grandparents and form a good relationship while you still can.